Hello everybody and welcome to episode 6 of The Knowledge Nest. This is March 8th. It's beginning to get a little warmer outside. Still waiting on, it to be completely warm, but hopefully as you come outside more often, you'll remember to come outside to the library and take advantage of all of the wonderful opportunities we have to broaden your minds, express your creativity, meet new people, and relax and continue your education while not being too stressed about it. Our goal is to help you in your education and help you in your daily life. We have recreational listening and reading and activities for you to participate in and benefit from. So please come on down to the library. Please support, for instance, the Fourth Wall Art Gallery in order to spread creativity throughout the campus. We have at least 8 student creators who have contributed their work to this initiative. Donations and questions about the Fourth Wall Art Gallery should be directed toward Ross Sempak, who I interviewed a few weeks ago. Now a brief note about one of the unique offerings we have here at CSI. We have audiobooks, and now you may think that audiobooks are something from the 1980s or 1990s, but our audiobooks are unique, and let me tell you why. The first audiobooks were created on vinyls. They were rarely made and have only recently become popular again. They were huge vinyl discs that had books instead of music on them. But lately they've had a resurgence, with fiction books and non-fiction books alike being pressed onto vinyl discs. Then, audio cassettes and CDs became the media of choice for audiobook publishers. These were smaller, more versatile, they could be mobile, they could be played in many different systems. When I was a child, listened to audiobooks on tape for many family vacations and even just going back and forth to the store. Audiobooks on tape were a boon, I assume, to my mom and my parents in general. My grandparents would even get audiobooks from my parents so we could listen to them because they just relaxed us and were very useful, and then CDs followed. These were more transportable than audiobooks, but they were still somewhat cumbersome to use because you had to manually navigate through the sections of the audiobooks by manipulating the playback device. You had to fast forward on the tape or the CD or rewind it, and then you had to go probably forward or backward again because you needed to fine-tune where you were playing from. But then solving this problem was the audiobook hosted on websites and apps. This became more common in the 2000s, the 2010s. Even today, audiobooks on websites and apps are proliferating everywhere. These are extremely portable, obviously. You can access them on multiple devices without having to carry them physically around. They're transferable, they're user-friendly, the interfaces have been continuously updated. However, many digital audiobooks as well as ebooks require a subscription to a service. A lot of times you can't access the ebook that you want or the audiobook unless you are a subscription to a service, or if you have a library card, or if you have some other access point, some other organization that is providing you access to the group of audiobooks. So these pose yet another access problem with audiobooks. The library-friendly solution to the drawbacks of audio, cassette, CD, and digital audiobooks are called Playaways. Now, Playaways are small devices. They're probably about 3 times as thick as an iPod Nano. That's a historical MP3 player if there ever was one. But they're small boxes about the size of a matchbox, which is another historical reference, I'm sure, that are battery-powered. You don't have to plug them in. You can just put batteries in them, and they've been preloaded with audiobook material. They're labeled with the audiobook that is playing on them, and all you have to do is make sure that the batteries are current and the audiobook you want will play. All you have to do is plug in a pair of headphones or a speaker. You can plug them into the audio jack in your car if you have a compatible cord, but all you need is an external speaker. They won't play by themselves, and you can get headphones at the front desk for free. So really, all you need is access to our library, and we can give you the Playaway device. And you can check those out for a month, again, as long as the regular textbooks that we have, or physical print books, I guess, that we have. Utilize the wide range of materials that we have on Playaway. There are mostly fiction books. I personally use audiobooks when I drive to my parents' house, kind of continuing that audiobook on trip tradition, or when I am performing household chores, engage in something I don't need my whole mind for, like writing the script of this podcast, for instance. I was listening to an audiobook while I wrote this. Audiobooks are an excellent way to infuse literature into your mind, or even non-fiction books, but for now we'll stick with fiction books, into your mind. Kind of make yourself think about the deep ideas, or sometimes to just distract yourself from the struggles you're going through. They can also provide strength. Maybe you don't want to distract yourself. Maybe you want to feel empathy or gain insight from people in fiction or nonfiction who have gone through similar problems. Hearing it with your ears makes a difference to a lot of people. I know that it's made a difference to me. Currently, Playaways cannot be connected through USB cords or Bluetooth connections with phones or something, but these capabilities could come in the future, so stay tuned for that. However, right now, they're only compatible with battery. Speaking of books and exchanging ideas and getting support from other people and other perspectives, thank you to everyone who attended the book club on March 23rd. It was very well attended. There were 8 or 9 people, aside from Allison and the library staff who attended, and there were many different viewpoints expressed. It's always important to have as many different points of view and personal backgrounds as possible when you have something like a book club, so that you don't only get an echo chamber of 1 or 2 viewpoints, or you don't start a contentious debate between groups that have 2 distinct viewpoints. As many varying perspectives as possible should be obtained when you're having a book club, and that's exactly what we had on March 23rd. This will ensure that the information that we ingest has not been tainted too much by particular biases. We should not get our information or data only from one source, but verify everything you hear. Verify that the information you're receiving is accurate. And also verify that it accurately and authentically portrays all viewpoints and is equitable and fair in its portrayal and coverage. You should corroborate things that you read, mostly now talking about nonfiction books, but even in reviews of fiction books, you should corroborate those reviews with multiple sources. Read multiple reviews of a book instead of just one, to see what people of different backgrounds and persuasions believe about a particular item. See where these reviews corroborate. See where their ideas and opinions differ. With news sources, it's easy to use the tools talked about in the second episode of this podcast. Look at the title, look at the publisher, look at the author, look at the intent of the article, other relatively overt features to determine whether or not the source is authentic and accurate. On that thought, let's talk about verifying journal information when you're researching. We've talked about this book club, we've talked about Playaways audiobooks. Let's talk about journals and academic periodicals of other types to ensure that what you're reading and what you are learning and what you're communicating is from a valid source. While many journals are valid peer-reviewed journals, many are not. Some journals practice deceptive and predatory practices. They require academics and others to pay fees to publish their articles. This goes against scholarly best practices and is a good way for pseudoscience to gain traction among readers. There are thousands of predatory, fake, and deceptive journals. Additionally, while these journals may have peer review boards, there are problems with them. They may have the same peer board as another journal, or some where all of its members may be fictitious. Others have peer boards whose members are not qualified to review articles on the subject of the journal. They could be qualified in other fields, or they could be someone who's paid to be on the board. Be careful to ensure that the journals whose articles you are using in your papers and assignments are valid journals. Now let's talk about an increasing trend in the education world: AI. Now, I'm sure that when I say the words or the letters AI, many of you are thinking about ChatGPT, and I'm sure that everyone or most everyone has heard about ChatGPT. For those of you who have not tried out this tool, ChatGPT is an AI language and communications model that can respond to various queries and generate products in a wide range of data formats. For example, text, code, and mathematical narratives and equations can be all produced by this tool. This doesn't mean that the productions of ChatGPT are always 100% accurate, but it does mean that they are increasingly accurate. For instance, today, I created an XML code to mock up a archives XML record. I don't need to go into all the specifics, but it was a fairly complex line of 30 lines of code, and it produced a fairly accurate representation of what I asked it to create. So this tool can be manipulated and used for a wide variety of purposes. I just told you I used it today. I've also used it in other facets of my work as a digital initiatives librarian. ChatGPT is related to DALL-E. Last year, that was kind of a huge thing. DALL-E is an art generating tool. It's another AI tool that can generate artwork based off of text prompts. Other AI art creating products and creation products include Midjourney. Midjourney was influenced by DALL-E, and both ChatGPT and DALL-E were created by an organization called OpenAI, which encourages the beneficial integration of AI and other technologies in as many fields as possible. So I would encourage you to explore the use of these tools. Don't use it to cheat on your assignments, but there are many beneficial and educational uses for this tool. Now I want to talk about a tool that could be very useful for you as community college students: NewsGPT. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is NewsGPT? Well, NewsGPT is an advanced language model descended from ChatGPT. It can gather, analyze, and report on news stories from various sources. In other words, it's an artificial intelligence that can read and understand news articles and then summarize them in a way that's easy to understand. So why is this relevant to you as community college students? Staying informed about current events is important for a number of reasons. For one, it helps you understand the world around you, which can be useful in your studies and in your personal life. But it can also help you stay up to date on topics and issues that are relevant to your coursework, your future career, and your community. And that's where NewsGPT comes in. By using this tool, you can quickly and easily access news stories from a variety of sources all in one place. This can save you time and effort while also providing you with a more comprehensive understanding of current events. NewsGPT reads different sources about the same event or the same idea and then combines it into a supposedly non-biased narrative. Now, of course, you want to still check that the information provided by NewsGPT, ChatGPT is accurate, but this is a good starting off point. You can gather information from this. So whether you're studying journalism, politics, business, or any other field, NewsGPT can help you stay informed and engaged with the world around you. And who knows, it might even spark some new interests and passions along the way. This entire section on NewsGPT was written by ChatGPT. What are your thoughts on this? Should AI be used to overtly and frequently improve and expand education efforts and communication? How does this affect the reliability, authenticity, and effectiveness of professional and academic communications? Feel free to send in your thoughts. See you next time on The Knowledge Nest.